This is the part where we go live, Moan.
Not today. You almost got me again, but I'm ready today, DK. I'm 100% prepared for your shenanigans, man. That's what I'm gonna call them.
I do believe that the viewers will be the judge of who's ready and who's not, because the first thing that starts happening here, as soon as we pop in there, you start seeing stuff about bells. Bells. Everything is about bells. What's that mean?
That means, DK, they have been here and they know we've now inherited a tradition of ringing the bell because that means the show starts. Are you ready for it?
It sounds like they are.
Ring the bell, DK.
We talk about this team getting bigger, stronger, tougher, more imposing on the bus, and all that other stuff, Moan.
Yeah.
What are they doing it for? That's what we're going to talk about today. Wait, better question. Who are they doing it for? What's really happening here?
This is very true, but I got to call this out right here too, DK, from our guy, William McDuffie, that says, late again, LOL. You know what?
That's me. 100% me.
We're treating this like NFL kickoff now. We kicked off at, what was that, 4:03? That's perfect for a 1 o'clock kickoff, right?
Now, I show up with these things. I show up with like food and coffee, and I finish the food. Okay. Yeah. I can't believe I have to explain myself.
No, it's all good. The food and coffee is essential for this, DK.
Who are we getting bigger, tougher, and meaner for? Who are we doing that for?
You know, we have this time around again, we have a premier back in the name of Naji Harris, man. A guy that I think you saw last year needed a break. I think a guy you saw last year also, man, is going to fight for his rights to run over people, run through people for that extra yards. I almost made it a song, but I didn't want to copyright infringement right there, DK. But that's exactly what it is. Najee is special, man. And I think we saw that. If you look at his stats also, you'll see that. But I would say this also. I think it's important for Coach Tomlin, the Steelers, himself to be conscious of his carries, to be conscious of his hits, to be conscious of how long before you're able to get another premier running back like this. And I know exactly what this league is because even, heck, I didn't call it out, right, DK? This is a wash you out league when it comes to running backs and safeties. Is that the two positions right there, DK?
Yes, I would say so. I would say so.
I'd even say this, man. If you got a good kicker, the kickers are more safe long-term than the actual running back is. Like, think about that. That tells you a lot about what they feel and expect from that position is just get them in and get them out. But you got a first-round running back in Naji Harris, man, that showed crazy production in year one, has the personality of everything Pittsburgh, correct? Hard-nosed guy, is a straight shooter. Go ahead, elaborate more, man.
Born Steeler, on and off the field. His passion is for the team succeeding. He talked about that when he arrived. Moan, he showed it to me.
Yes, he did.
This past season. He showed it to me on the field. He showed it to me with some of the stuff that he said to me off the field, including when things weren't going well for him, when he was averaging 1.2 yards per carry or whatever that was. Okay?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm telling you, he would say to me, I'm telling you, it's there. I know what we're missing. I know what's going wrong, and I am telling you it's there. And then he would put it on himself.
No doubt.
It's on me. He was the one showing up for not just running backs meetings, which you have to, for OL meetings.
Yeah,
he was in the back of the room.
He
didn't come in there, and you know, because you've seen that, Moan. He's sitting in the back of the room. He didn't go there to Bigfoot anybody. He didn't go there to say, look at me, I'm spending my extra time. He went in the back just to make himself available. If Coach Meyer or any of those O linemen needed anything from him, he was sitting there.
Yeah. Or when we used to do this with Le'Veon, that's not that far long ago, and D'Angelo Williams and Connor, we did it with all these guys, man. We'd be in the room with them in practice meetings and tell them, hey, if you just stick with me 1/2 of a second,
That's it.
There's your gap right there.
That it is.
And it's that type of intel, man, that's very encouraging for a coaching staff and for a team that wants to rely on the run and still, honestly, DK, have to, because Kenny Pickett is still young. I've challenged him on this show to say, I need him to do A, B, C, and D, right? Like, we all know what Kenny has to do in year 2. That growth has to show. But this team is still wants to lay its head on the shoulders of the run game. And I think Najee is a huge part of that. Why would you not surround that guy? I look at it like this, DK, the same way, and you reported on this, that Ben every year would ask for weapons, right? Give me more, give me more, give me more. Well, I think it's fair when you got a star like Najee to be able to have that same access. And I think that's what they're doing too, especially when he's willing. This is my thing that I appreciate about them last year, the amount of touches. Year 1, rookie. I'll give it to Coach T. You got to figure out what he's about. And you're so young and dumb as an athlete sometimes. Like we heard Rosie say this about Le'Veon. Le'Veon just wanted to stay in. Like, the beauty about Le'Veon, one, he was AFC, he was Pittsburgh to the core of him. But the reality on the back end of that's a little too much for you, Le'Veon, as far as the amount of touches. Year 1 for Najee, man, he had 307 rushing attempts, right? And also along with that, he had 74 receptions. DK, that's a lot of touches for young guys. Last year, 207.
A lot of touches for anybody.
Yeah. Warren, okay, was a huge asset to him and to our team, but primarily to Najee, though. And I know everybody wants to have that conversation about Jaylen Warren. No. Let's not do that. You have a special guy in Najee. And guess what? For the value and how special Jaylen can be too, appreciate them both, but appreciate them more because Najee went from 307 touches as far as rushes to 272. Now, again, it comes down to balance. He had less receptions also at 41 on the year. So that's where you want Najee at, man. If you can keep him at 250 and productive with his touches in the passing game too, and you get a longer career out of a guy like him, I say this, I'd love to see him be a second contract running back in Pittsburgh. Make it a no-brainer when it comes down to that 5th-year option, DK. You know how that 5th-year option goes.
Yeah, especially for that position.
Yeah,
I would say when I look at the Steelers' offense and I hear what they're saying, when Matt Canada said in his session with us at the draft, he said it's no secret what we're doing here.
Yeah.
He's talking about the run. Okay. When Mike Tomlin says, we're looking to be physical, we're looking to pound the ball, it's no secret what they're doing.
You're right.
Great, wonderful. I'm going to throw in one.
Go ahead.
For all this.
Let me hear it.
I love and respect Naji Harris. I absolutely love the impact that he had over those last 9 games and the way he went about it.
Yeah,
again, he was a big part of not just, again, on the field, but making it happen off the field. Great, wonderful. If you're going to build your offense around a running back, one thing Najee doesn't do and has never done, including in college, is break big ones. Okay, he just doesn't have that pull-away speed. So what you're not going to have are those 30, 40 yards. He busted it open.
Okay.
Never mind the 50, 60s, okay? I understand those are rare, okay? But when you're talking about – I don't want to start getting into comparing him to other guys in the NFL, but when you're talking about a Nick Chubb or you're talking about the guys that you generally put into that stratosphere, Derrick Henry could knock you over, but he
had the home run.
He had the home run.
Yes, he did.
Najee doesn't have that. Jaylen Warren maybe has a chance at having that. Okay. But I also will kind of amend this by saying that he and Jaylen aren't the only ones that have to run. Okay. Because if you have Calvin Austin and you're running those sweeps, and Calvin Austin can be that guy that finds all that bonus grass out there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not that simple. It's not
okay. So Calvin being the home run hitter, this is my thing too. If Calvin's gonna be that guy, I gotta go there because we've already witnessed it. Durability better be at the front of his mindset. And I know sometimes you can't help that, but this time around, Calvin, hey, we got to stay on the field because if you are that home run go-getter, please be available for us and let's not have it, DK, be a predictable time when he's getting the ball. Oh, it's 1st and 15. They're in the shotgun. Here he is lined up next to the quarterback. It's gonna be a draw. No, what I say to Calvin Austin and for the people that got to call plays for him, your guy, is this. Put him in 1st and 10, 2nd and 5. Let him be a running back also. Don't let this be a gimmicky thing with this guy, Calvin Austin, man, simply because he can play that. He has shown at Memphis that he can get to the edge and hit in between the gap and make a big run because you're right. The home run side of Najee ain't there, and that ain't no knock on him. Heck, you just born that way, DK, right? Like that high gear that you're looking for, it just ain't there. My high gear was never there. Speed was my thing.
One of our commenters just said a little bit ago here, I'll like to see if I can find it to put it up. Just said, here it is. It says Najee is bigger and stronger now. Actually, he isn't. Najee cannot get bigger and stronger than he was for the 2022 season. Okay, his legs were redwoods. Okay, like the thigh alone was like a barrel. Okay? He's not capable of getting bigger or stronger. And also, that wouldn't necessarily make him faster. He's just not that guy with that gear. But what he is, and we've seen a lot of these in these comments today too, is he is a clock killer. He's a clock eater.
Yeah. That's where I was going to go, DK. I love the home run. And I think 20-25 from Najee on the corners, you get Thunder, and you also get Thunder and Jaylen Warren too. Okay, this is what I'll say, okay? Hear me out. Maybe it's not the point of having that home run hitter in this offense. That's why you got all these receivers. Like, I don't think it's – and I appreciate you playing devil's advocate on this one. And that is a fair point to be made, DK. It is. It is a fair point to be made. Can he hit the home run? I'd much rather see him 7-yard, 8-yard, 12-yard, 20-yard a team throughout the entirety of the game because the defense on the other side leave that game's like, God, dog, we just got beat down.
Yeah.
That is exactly. That portion of it too. Like that was Le'Veon. Like we knew, I ain't gonna lie to you, the amount of massages and therapy and ice tubs and whirlpools that we had to have with Dylan, like blocking with Le'Veon, though, was unique. But the beauty of it, though, DK, is everybody signed up for it, and you knew that we were just – it was punch him in the mouth. Screw the home run. Like, I'd love to see AB and Martavis, all of them get that. But you're right. The home run ain't there.
No, it's not. But at the same time, we saw the formula.
Yeah, we did.
We don't have to sit here and daydream.
That's fair.
About whether this works. We saw 9 games of it.
Yeah.
Okay. The offense still wasn't busting into the end zone the way you want because the passing game never really got going.
Tight red zone. Yeah.
I put a lot of that on Matt Canada. I put some of that on Deontay Johnson. I put some of that on Kenny. Okay. You just didn't see the passing game get to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
This is a different mix that's here right now.
Yeah.
You've got a group now you've got Allen Robinson, where a year ago you had Chase Claypool. Not to be a jerk. Okay. No, but okay.
I know what you mean.
I mean, these are not equal things.
I'm being that guy right now with this. Yes, you're 100% correct, man. Which is you're very right about that. Getting in the end zone is something that has to be done from the 35 in to DK. That's what we're asking for, right? If we're not going to be able to hit a counter to the end zone, then we got to be able to get in it through the air. And Pat Frymuth is one of those guys. I saw recently he was on the top 10 tight ends list. Like, he's making his rounds, man, as far as a guy. Najee's on that top 10 running back list. Like, it's good that you got playmakers, but it is the absolute, ending of it all. Get points. That's what this league is all about, DK. But to get back to the original, this beefing up, this mentality, this idea that, look, we're going to transform ourselves into a bunch of bullies and goons. I think it does start with Naji Harris, hands down. It does. Look at his leadership. Like, even Cam speaks about it. Who did Coach T surround Najee with? Cam, TJ. Hey, I know you'd rather be at home playing on the video game, possibly if he does that, but come to my house for Christmas dinner so I can show you how to be a leader, what you will be doing, hopefully, if he get that second contract. Najee's primed for this type of step up, man. And truthfully, seeing where Kenny Pickett is as far as being the natural quarterback leader of the offense and the team, I think it's probably more fit for a dude like Najee Harris.
Couldn't agree more here. Rob comes at me with blame Naj for an ordinary OL and Matt Canada. Come on, DK. Naj deserves better. I don't think you understand what I'm saying here, Rob.
No,
this isn't a
no.
criticism. Okay,
No.
This is exactly who Naj is. He has never been the guy that breaks off the big run. You know who would tell you that right now, Rob, if he was with us? Najee.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just not his thing.
No.
Okay, he is there to wear you down. He is there to move the sticks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's always been his thing. He doesn't pretend otherwise. So I'm not criticizing anybody here. That's just exactly who he is, and that's, by the way, who the Steelers want him to be. You know what I want, Moan, more than anything right now?
Tell me, DK. Look like you. What is it?
I want a segment that really matters.
And that's all. Hey, Moan, man.
I believe that it is.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
We had that Randy on yesterday complaining that I wasn't in the shop. Remember?
Yeah.
He drove 700 miles or something, and I called him out on here live and said, Randy, you know you're just going to some family reunion and you made that up or whatever else, that you were coming just to see me.
Yeah.
Well, Randy comes back to the shop downtown today.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He comes back down and with his lovely wife, and he's in there, and I said, okay, what were you really doing here? You'll never guess. Family reunion. They're from out in Moon Township and everything else here. So
I play Steeler basketball in Moon Township, man, at Moon High. Absolutely.
But he also came in and he bought a subscription to the app. That's what reminded me of it here, because we just ran the app ad there. There's some fun stuff that goes on in this business.
Yeah.
John Pell comes in and gets us going today. He says, "Hey, Moan, I think we had a great draft. I don't see day one starters though. Your thoughts?"
That's fair, man. I got two guys on that day one starter list.
Go ahead.
And a potential third. If we're playing spades, I'm not sure if you're familiar with spades. Spades, you bid books, right? I'd say two and a possible. That's where I'm at right now. That's the hand I'm playing right now. That two for me, Broderick Jones, Joey Porter Jr., and my possible is Keanu Benton, just because of his specialty. His specialty is give me 1, 2, maybe 3 downs at a time. If he goes into camp, let's go Keanu Benton, being a day one starter, okay? Him in general. If he can get under Cam and soak up as much as he possibly can, and in training camp, DK, and in those preseason games, which is why I love preseason games too, okay? You have an opportunity to see, okay, what does he do against live reps? And under the lights, as Coach Tomlin like to say, like there is a different monster when you get inside of a stadium. I do think those two first guys, Joey Porter Jr., can be a starter. And I also think for sure Broderick Jones may end up upseating our guy Dan Moore, man. If Dan doesn't fight DK, how easy of a transition is it for a first rounder to get drafted when all he's ever played is left tackle?
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be there are going to be some interesting camp battles. I'm not going to sit here and script anybody's name in stone. And by the way, Mike Tomlin said the same thing regarding all of them, and so did the various positional coaches.
Yeah.
You know, when Terrell Austin comes in and says that Joey Porter Jr. isn't guaranteed a starting spot, he's not talking out the wazoo.
No.
Okay. These guys understand what's required in a training camp setting, what they have to prove to people to win jobs. However, to try to attack it, Broderick Jones, I think, is going to be over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Joey Porter Jr., if he's not over there, I don't know what you're doing. Okay.
Right.
Meaning, I hate to say that, okay, but you can say, well, you lost Patrick Peterson and Levi Wallace. Okay, great. But then now who's your slot corner? Are you sticking with Arthur Millette? Are you trying to move Peterson inside like they keep hinting? I don't know. Their best situation is to have Joey Porter on the outside. And Benton, here again, tell me who's on that line if Benton isn't? Is it DeMarvin Leal? I don't think so.
As a run stopper, no. DeMarvin Leal plays a 3 technique to a 5 technique to me, meaning he plays over the guard outside or he plays over a tackle head up is kind of the way I see him. Him being in the middle to me, DeMarvin Leal, doesn't signify run stopper. To me, again, legitimately, Keanu Benton is a guy that could potentially be a day one starter of a run stopper. He's a specialty piece that has a lot of tools to him. So I see those 3 dudes to me, man, and everybody else fitting in.
I neglected to thank John for the $5 contribution.
Yeah, thanks, John.
I will not neglect to thank Alex Marvan for a €2. Those are euros.
Yeah. That's about what, $3.70, maybe close to $4 American US dollars.
Basically, I always, whenever I'm over there, like I was last year, I just think of it as $2.
I just like to convert it in my mind. Yeah.
Although eventually, you know what happens? Like even in Canada, you just go, it says $5. I'm just gonna pay. You don't think about whether it's Canadian dollars or US. And Canadian dollars like 75 cents US or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, Alex says, "Hey Moan, are the Steelers a sleeper team?"
You know what? We're better off that way. And this is my thing. So I saw somebody right there. Yeah, they are. You
have to be seen as an underdog. Right now, people are picking them fourth.
Let me say this. Sleeper team, maybe not so much, because I think most coaches have evaluated the talent on this team when they do the scouting breakdown. I saw somebody put this in the comments too. I think what makes them a sleeper team is simply being super young. I think that portion of it to me. If this talent rises to the occasion, like Broderick Jones is just now turning 21, if I'm not mistaken. Like Najee's still fairly young also. Kenny Pickett's still a young dude as far as his NFL years. There's a lot of inexperience as far as reps on the field. That to me is the sleeper element of it. The talent is there. The projections and potential of what this team can do is there on the defensive side of the ball and offensive side of the ball. Sleeper team, nah, I think you probably side-eye them as a, man, you just a young punk is the way I would look at this team. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be like, they're super young, but they're frisky. It's the way I would view our team right now if I was playing against them.
Ken has a whole list of guests he wants you to
write
get
them
on the
down
show.
Real quick. Let me write them down.
There you go.
He said, Ben Hines. Ben said yes already. Dave is a hard pull because what Dave want to talk about? Let me see, Ben Hines.
Wait, what would Dave want to talk about?
Yeah, he's not going to want to talk about what y'all want to talk about. I'm telling you that right now. And Debo would be good get too. Debo, come on. Also, he texts me randomly all the time. That's my guy, man. Shout out to Debo, James. That is.
Yeah, James Harrison. For those of you who don't know who Debo is,
Oh man, I got to tell you this. Speaking of not knowing who somebody is, so me and my wife go to lunch today, right? And we're sitting down at this spot, and many times somebody asks me what I did. The size is a giveaway. Either I'm a bodyguard, construction worker, or some football player, right? Bouncer. Okay. The lady was like, "Hey, how's the synchronized swimming going?" And I bust out laughing because that's usually my go-to. Like, you think I play football? Just ask me, right? So this lady was like, her coworker was with her. She was like, "Man, my son loves the Steelers. I'm a Chicago fan." She's going on and on and on. He's like, my wife, he was like, the lady was like, "My son, he loves the bus." The lady who was hosting us was like, "What's the bus?" I was like, "What's the bus? You mean Jerome Bettis?" She had no idea what the bus was, man. But we are in Tennessee, and she could care 2 cents about what Jerome Bettis' nickname was.
Oh yeah, Steelers fans know, and just like Joe points out here, we all know who Debo is. Joe's getting mad at me for pointing out that Debo is James Harrison.
Well, the lady down here didn't know what the bus was. That was hilarious to me, DK.
No, that's good stuff here. We have more good questions here. A-Bomb says, "Hey, Moan, what is the process for undrafted free agents from Ramon's experience?"
What is the process like? Fast.
How about right now? What about rookie camp? You're coming in with all these draft picks. What do you think when you're looking around the field?
Blur and stargazing and trying to get your footing. Like the biggest question I think undrafted free agents have is, where do I fit in at? Like, So I feel for those guys this weekend.
Depth chart.
And like, as far as career goes too, DK, think about it. Like, you have no guarantee other than the fact that you got invited to camp. That to me is by far one of the scariest places to be as an undrafted free agent. Like, if you know you got talent, that's one thing, but that all is dependent on what the depth is in front of you and how good you actually look when you get your opportunity. A lot goes into that, man. So it's fast, it's quick. I've seen some guys come into town and they never show back up again because they don't get that second call or that second opportunity. You are, I'll say this though, a part of the team. If you get invited to OTAs and off-season workouts, you're a Pittsburgh Steeler. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You just got to go prove your worth.
Since we opened the show with Najee, Blake brings up that Najee needs more passing targets. I happen to agree with that. Where have the screens been?
Where have the screens been? Sputtering offense, DK. I mean, it becomes kind of obvious, like when you know Najee's kind of getting it in the backfield. He's offset. Offensive line is up in the 2-point stance. Like, you know, it's for Najee. So they probably just got away with it to protect him. They got to break some tendencies this time around.
You like blocking for screens?
Love it. Absolutely.
Why?
Because you defensive players are dumb. You can just set them up. What you want from me, DK?
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Peace. That was a show.
That's right. Hey, Debo, you want to come on my show? I think defensive players are dumb.
No, but here's the thing. It could be 3rd and 7. You set it up like it's a running. I mean, like it's a pass play. Every D lineman wants a sack. So I'd be laughing like, oh, man, you beat me inside. And then I block him inside so the screen can get out. Like, that's why I loved it. I don't want to call it a playoff, but if you set it up, getting that chunk play, those chunk yards after the fact, that is a beautiful place to be at, DK.
Well, I love this question. Probably more than I should. Robbie Jones says, hey, Moan,
Yeah.
how did you like playing a game on Thanksgiving Day?
It was beautiful if we won. That's after the game. If we won, it was beautiful, man. But I never took for granted those holiday games because I remember being a kid watching those holiday games and being like, man, that's so cool. And not even realizing in my youth, like somebody wins and somebody loses and they got to go home and have some turkey after the fact, right? But it was always super cool to me. And this is why all eyes are on you for that night. And we had those late games and stuff like that, those Christmas Eve games. Nothing better, DK. I'm telling you, that is a beautiful, beautiful setting, especially if you're a competing team.
See, what Ramon's not telling you here, and where I was hoping he'd go with this.
Oh, where?
No, because you kind of did here. They couldn't care less. The athletes, if you're asking about Thanksgiving or Christmas or if they lose their New Year's, they are like this. They are like their head coach, okay? Yeah. He totally doesn't get it when it comes to holidays. He is so locked into whatever the next freaking game is. Mm-hmm. He's not even thinking about anything. Now, I have seen, and you've experienced it, though, where the head coach will say on Thanksgiving, he'll let you guys on a Thursday. Yeah. He will let you guys out early after a practice. He won't have
come in early too. Yeah.
Come in early and get out early. Go home and do your thing with your family. Otherwise, holidays don't even exist.
Yeah.
It's just you are in football season.
So this is where it starts actually with Coach T in that sentiment, right, DK? As soon as you make the team, it's usually Labor Day weekend. Mm-hmm. And everybody has off, right? They have usually a 9 to 5 on Labor Day. Mm-hmm. Yep. Coach T's first words in those meetings is this: after the 53 is set and we are practicing on that bonus Labor Day Monday. Hey, man, you'd rather be laboring on Labor Day, wouldn't you? Yeah, Coach, we would be. Thank you for the job. So he sets that up early in the season, be like, hey, there's a lot of people not laboring on Labor Day, and you have that opportunity here. So holidays, yeah, you're right, are just another day for us. And Coach T gives that story each year around the Christmas and holiday time about how his parents worked at the shipyard in Virginia, Maryland area, and they were getting extra overtime to show up. He was like, you guys have the ability to go play football. He's like, you got all the extra overtime in your pay grade already. Appreciate these moments, man. So, yeah, that's something that always hit home with the guys.
I really like this one, too. Corey, we have some good questions today. Hey, Moan, does the scheduled release date, which, by the way, is Thursday night, they're putting out the schedule, the order of games. Everyone already knows the Steelers' opponents, but It'll be the order of games, what days of the week. Does that mean anything to players when it happens?
You know what? Yes.
Really?
Yes, it does.
That surprises me a little bit.
It could be a combination of a few things. If you have a London game, where does it fall? Okay. Where does the bye week fall? Right? And where are your divisional opponents at? Like having Baltimore within 3 weeks, 2 times within 3 weeks. Like, okay, how late in the season is that? How soon do we get Cleveland out of the way? Like, where are the West Coast trips? Like, is it late in the season? Because I'm going to be really tired by then. So there's a bunch of stuff that you factor in when it comes down to how you view the schedule. So, yeah, you look at it. Definitely, DK. Definitely look at it.
What I look at more than anything, the instant the schedule comes out, is the run of games at the very beginning. How much of a grace period are you getting to formulate your football team the way you want it to be? Are you going to have a chance to run up, some AFC South games to get yourself comfortable?
Yeah, okay. For real.
Or is it going to be just instant gauntlet, knocks everybody down, demoralizes everybody? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the thing that I look at more than anything else. After that, you start getting into the nitty gritty, the Thursday games, and all that other stuff. But
and all of that does play into it. My brother actually showed up in here, man. Let me put him up here real quick. Ron Slay, y'all be sure to hit that like button for the Ramon Foster show. I mean, it's only right. Shout out to my brother, man. He actually got a membership too. Check him out.
He is quite the supporter, to say the least, all over Twitter and everywhere.
Yes,
Ron, by the way, does his own show.
He does,
and actually does a lot of work.
He does. We're both in the media, and that's my actual brother too. We have the same father, but he's now on the SEC Network. He's the basketball player. SEC Network. He's doing a lot of stuff right now too. So you're right. He's a big time supporter. But DK, the other thing too. Home opener, home or away. That kind of matters a little bit.
Yeah, the Steelers don't really get those, but they always seem to open on the road. I want to think it's like 10 out of the last 12.
Mr. Rooney said something, didn't he, this offseason?
He said something about that. He said it'd be nice if that ended.
Yeah.
I think it was something to that effect.
Yeah, buddy.
That's here's Brian. I love these sideways questions. I'm going to read this to you first.
Go ahead.
I'm going to read what Brian actually says. And then after that, I'm going to translate what Brian actually wants to say. Okay.
Say it, DK. Yeah.
Brian says, "Hey, Moan, is it possible to evaluate a coordinator, specifically an offensive coordinator, during the preseason?" Okay. What Brian's actually asking, "Hey, Moan, if the Steelers only score 1 touchdown in their very first preseason game, can we rocket Matt Canada to the moon without any sort of a suit or anything like that? Just anything. You would just send him up there naked." Yeah. That's what Brian's actually asking.
That's exactly what he's asking. He's also asking, is there anybody behind Matt Canada that can call plays if he is rocketed into the sun?
Now.
Again, my standpoint on Canada is this. I think he's here for stability and growth of Kenny. Say what you want to about it, but not changing offenses and play schemes and names and stuff like that, I think should be more productive for Kenny Pickett. But I will also say this too. I do think if Kenny grabs the offense and control, development, all those types of things you want from a year 2 guy, and Matt Canada doesn't show growth in his play calling, there's a conversation to be had probably at the end of the year. I don't know if Coach Tomlin's ever let go of an assistant coach, OC, anybody like that during the season. So I'm going to put that pipe dream somewhere else.
I feel like he came close this past season. I mean, when he's standing there at the podium after whatever it was, how many losses in a row and how many games in a row where they hadn't scored any touchdowns, and he says something like, "We're all on the line," or whatever, instead of just saying, "I'm not talking about coaches," the way he usually would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And was that the break?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was that the break right there where they started to turn the offense around a little bit more too?
Exactly. Yeah. Wade needs a DK translator button. We should make one of those. That's all Brian was saying.
Yeah,
everybody finds this way to just kind of tap dance around it. Mm-hmm. I would really like to have Matt Canada fired, Moan. How do we go about doing that? Mr. Lamborghini Leglock comes in and says, any player Has any player ever been on the injured list who's actually healthy? That's roster manipulation.
Yeah, that would be roster manipulation. That's a fine behind that too. If you got something, if you're on that list, you usually have something going on too. So whether it be, look, I need a day, well, that's coach's decision, or I need a day, it's probably because I have a lingering injury like an ankle. It could be something back, it can shoulder. So now that usually doesn't happen. Coach will just give you that day off.
Thanks for the contributions that have been coming in here from Greg, from Mr. Lamborghini. Those are all appreciated. Alan in Maryland comes in and says, "I'm retired and I just watch the clock for the Ramon Foster show to start." I love it. We have a lot of people that are doing that now. It's very, very cool.
Definitely appreciate that.
Don says, "Watch Jalen Warren. Spectate.
Separate is what he meant. Separate.
Okay, he does mean separate. Separate himself this year. I am telling you, he's going to be special. He's a dog."
I starred that one for a reason, DK.
Tell me what that is.
It's everybody loves the backup. Do I think Jalen can be special?
Special
Yes.
is a strong word. Come on, Mon.
Special to the offense, DK.
I know special is Barry Sanders.
So that's where I'm headed. Like, everybody loves the backup, correct? Like, everybody loves the flash in the pan. Everybody loves the guy behind the guy until you give the guy behind him the actual ball and say, "Hey, go do your thing now." Like, they're special together.
Nobody's wearing anybody down for Jalen if Najee isn't there.
Yeah. Jalen does his thing because of Najee, because like they have this yin-yang tandem that they have working for one another. I'll tell you guys this that want to separate one and two. One, buy one of their jerseys in your support, okay? That's number one. But two, like, watch them just do work. You don't get this. It's rare we've had a real two-back tandem as young guys, right, DK, in a while that you just know are quality. One's a first rounder, one's an undrafted guy. Enjoy it, okay? Because look at Zeke and Pollard now. Like, it's a little different.
Sergio brings up a similar subject about injury. He says, "How transparent will the Steelers be about Darnell Washington's health concern? And how is it that we never knew about Juju's injury like you did, DK?" Well, first of all, if I knew it, then you knew it. I'm a reporter. I'm in the exact opposite of the business of keeping secrets. Okay.
Yeah.
When I find something out, my job is to let you know about it. So if you were reading our site, you knew about Juju's knee, and nothing surprised you about what followed that. Now, as far as Darnell goes, listen, they don't have to tell you anything other than whether or not somebody practiced.
Yeah.
And why they did or didn't practice. They're not going to do, Sergio, a thing where they say, we had a doctor examine Darnell's knee and the blah, blah, blah ligament is doing this and this and this. You're not going to get that.
Yeah.
You're just not going to know. So your transparency, if that's what you're thinking of here, is going to be a zero.
Yeah, you need to be a doctor at the combine and get that type of information. Right, DK? Like, that's the only way you're going to be able to get that. So the Darnell Washington's knee, this is the thing about it. Like, players, like Juju had probably his stuff for a while, but he showed up on game day. Some of those long runs and stuff he had like that, those big-time plays, like, there was stuff that had to be done to get him to the field. Like, that's the thing about, like, the NFL. It's a matter of can you go? Like, and you know when you can and when you can't. And there's also the ability to manage that too through training. I mean, through the training staff and the coaching staff watching after guys. Those DNP days did not practice. It may be because of that type of stuff. How many of you actually saw the effects of Juju's knee? Heck, he just signed a new deal, nice deal for his position in New England. So that's the answer right there. Darnell Washington's young, right? And if this is something that he has to get scoped, cleaned out really quick, we have enough time. None of this matters until September, whenever the season starts. If we're being very honest about it, DK, right? It does because he needs the professional reps. But if he's there on opening day, blocking on the end of the line, what are we talking about? I don't want to dead it like that because it could be an issue, but
Good one here from David. Do players receive dollars directly from their jersey sales? I can actually answer that, Mo.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
The way jersey sales work, the way merchandise sales work, and the reason that you can't go into a shop like ours or over, at the Steelers Pro Shop or whatever at Acrisure, the reason that you can't walk in there and say, I want a Steelers jersey that has no number on the back. Did you ever notice they all have them? They have a number and a name. The reason for that is that the league has a relationship with the National Football League Players Association, of which Ramon was a representative. And the revenue is shared between the league and the union, which then disburses the proceeds evenly among its membership, right, Mon?
Yes, it does. There's a pot, but there is a separate pot too. Like when you see those top 10 jersey sale guys, they get a separate check. Yes. They do. But there is a pot of money that goes in and split down the middle for everybody. That's part of our collective bargaining agreement too. And that to me, that's what happens in those situations right there. Not everybody is the same when it comes.
No, as always, the quarterbacks get paid.
Yeah, they do. Or that hot running back does, man, for sure.
That, by the way, is an outlier in sports. In baseball, it's all split evenly. In hockey, it's all split evenly. So, I have no idea about the NBA since we don't have a team.
Recently, I ended up getting a check for like $13. Somebody bought something and then with my name on it, and I ended up getting like $13. I was like, I got a check from who bought something. So whoever you are, thank you.
They gotta be watching the show, right?
$13, DK. $13, man. Absolutely.
You know who I think it was? I think it was our auntie in
Auntie Aaron. Yeah,
Auntie
this
Aaron
was
Tennessee. That sounds like she would walk into a place and say, "Where's your Ramon Foster gear?"
Anybody that's ever bought one, I'm appreciative of it. That is for sure, man.
Good stuff here. We're going to take a couple more today. Mark Lancaster says, I think Corey Trice will surprise a lot of folks this offseason. You're not the only one asking about Corey Trice today, which I find interesting in and of itself. 7th-round pick, but he has gotten a lot of attention from the fan base. And I understand that. You have a 6'3" corner, a 6'3" outside corner.
Yeah.
If he can play, that's something, man.
That's a win.
Yeah.
That's even if
he doesn't even have to be good.
Listen to me. If he's just using his physical attributes without getting holding calls, DK. Like, and if his feet are good and his speed is good and his recovery and hips, like, think about that. Like, for him to go that late, he's got some deficiencies, right? If he's able to like find those and just minimize them to the core of him, DK, gosh, you want to talk about a home run hit for a guy like that, man. Can you imagine that size of him and eventually Joey Porter on the outside? Lord, come on, man. That would be phenomenal, man. You want to talk about bully ball off the edge. Like, you got a no-fly zone and you got guys getting after the quarterback. That would be a beautiful defense in my mind, man.
Zach comes in also with a contribution. Thanks for that, Zach. Hey, Moan, off-topic question, but do you think Mason Rudolph gets a second chance in the NFL since he says he's done with the Steelers? He didn't say he was done with the Steelers.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I think he does. Mason's a very competent
I do think he is done with the Steelers. He didn't say any such thing.
Well, when you look at it, he should have a job in the NFL.
Oh,
Mason Rudolph. He should have a job. It comes down to what fit and what expectations. The one thing about Mason, he does have a strong personality, but he was able to sit behind Ben and just be cool, though. And I hope whatever role he goes into, because right now he's backup status until given that opportunity again, right, DK?
Yes.
And his personality of wanting to be a starter is phenomenal, but it's when you're the backup, you're the assistant. Like, the franchise guy is the one who carries the water and like really runs the show. So I want to see how he meshes with a group somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Mason, I hear all the time how he didn't get chances and everything. He had chances. You're on the field, you have a chance.
He did.
You're in practices, you have a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're the best quarterback in practice, the only people who need to see this are there.
Yeah.
We don't need to. Reporters don't need to see it. Fans don't need to see it. If the coaches see that you're the best quarterback in practice, you're going to be the guy. He wasn't.
I will say his bad luck of being on the field, getting hit with a helmet, getting knocked out, like that kind of stymied his growth a little bit as far as those opportunities go. We talked about it last week when Duck was able to, start. Like, I just
Mhm.
think Mason he was out of it in the sense of like trying to find answers. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Lamborghini comes in with why doesn't Omar manipulate the cap to stock up? I'm not sure what that means.
Manipulate the cap, move money forward, and being able to play in free agency. Omar, to me, Mr. Lamborghini leg lock, has done almost everything possible that you can need a GM to do in this offseason.
I could not believe how smoothly that rolled off your tongue.
Man, that's
Mr. Lamborghini leg lock. You said it like it was nothing.
But because he listen to me, Mr. Lamborghini leg lock, he's childish just like me. If I was trying to really have a nickname, that would be mine. Mine would be Mr. Lamborghini truck leg lock. You feel me, DK? Like, I'm here for a good time, just like Mr. Lamborghini leg lock. That's all. That's all it is, DK.
I'm really, really impressed with that alone here. Closing out today's show, BJ comes in with a real winner. Got anything special going on Friday? I think he's asking if you might be partaking in some form or other in the rookie mini camp. You've had involvement with the rookie class since retiring.
I have. If I do, it'll be during the summertime before the season kickoff or something like that. Nah, nothing special this Friday going on for me. It's Mother's Day weekend. Fellas, ladies, also to your moms and maybe daughters, like everybody, go get something for your mothers this Mother's Day weekend and spend time with them, if for anything. So it's Mother's Day weekend. Don't mess that up, especially you fellas. Boy, if y'all come in here Monday ticked off and y'all can't watch our show because the wife threw the computer out the window, that's y'all fault, because I warned you already. You better go get us something nice.
John's coming in with one at the very end here.
Yeah.
We can't say no to him since he comes with a contribution. Hey, Moan, I don't think we've got a real slot corner. What's your thoughts? That means that John doesn't like Arthur Mollett, to apply my translator here again.
With that being said, what I would tell you is this. Let it play itself out, John. I wish I can tell you that answer. What if Mollett got a little bit better? What if it's minimized a little bit because the rush and the run stoppage is a little bit better too this year? Like, there's so many things into having a very solid slot corner. I would also ask you this. Give me 10 solid slot corners in the league that you can go by. One in general for me, the one I absolutely know is two. Cam Sutton and Mike Hilton.
Yeah.
I can't name many past that because we don't pay attention to them until they're giving up plays.
Yeah.
Am I being honest about that,
No,
DK?
I miss Mike Hilton every day that he's gone on so many levels.
And twice on Sundays, man. Twice on Sundays.
Yeah, especially on Sundays. So LT comes in with, how about Trice in the slot? Trice is going to become our resident superhero next.
He is. Just like Darnell Washington was our pre-draft darling, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a board or team that didn't want Darnell Washington, so now Trice is our guy.
Yeah, this program was all over Darnell Washington before he became a Steeler somehow, magically.
We did it.
Third round.
Can we take credit for that? We did that.
Who's going to stop us, right?
I might even text Omar, thank our show for that, okay? He'll hit me back like, stop it, Ramon.
he never would have fallen to 93 without us, man.
Yeah,
93 overall for
you
that
better
player.
believe it. I kind of roll with Tommy Pons. He says losing Hilton was a huge mistake. Mike Hilton price was just high for what they were willing to pay at the time, though, too. There is that business.
Yeah, he was expensive, that's for sure here. All right, Moan, we will do we'll do another one of these tomorrow, eh?
Yeah.
That's Canadian, by the way.
I thought that was Canadian. Yeah. That was nice, DK. Hey, you be cool, and there are no theatrics or anything after the show, DK.
No, not today. Never stay tuned through the outro. You'll never learn anything. You'll never get a laugh out of it or anything.
Never do anything, DK.
No. All right, bye. Oh, about it. What is that?
Hey, buddy. Here's my pet right here, DK. Look. What are you doing? What do you want to
say? This show gets more ridiculous with every passing day.
Love you guys, man.
Let's do it again tomorrow. Bye.